In this video, we're going to cover extra practice 1 through 3 in lesson 7.2, and we are on page 204. So please turn there in your student journal with me. Now, in exercises 1 through 3, we need to use the properties of parallelograms. And so let's quickly review what those properties are. So you should have this supplemental notes page for lesson 7.2. So these are all the things we know are true about parallelograms. The opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, the diagonals bisect each other, and consecutive angles, or angles that are right next to each other, are supplementary. We may need to use some of these properties as we try to solve 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so in number 1, we have to find the value of x and y. And so when I'm trying to find these values, I know we're probably going to have to set up some kind of an equation using relationships that are true about parallelograms. I notice that x and y, they are located on the sides of the parallelogram. So we're interested in figuring out what is true about the lengths of the sides of the parallelogram. One of the properties we just stated was that opposite sides on a parallelogram are congruent. So these two sides are equal in length, and these two sides are equal in length. Now, if I want to set up an equation, I want to make sure my equation has one variable. So right now, I don't want to use these two sides because I have an x and a y. Let's set up an equation using these two sides. Well, since these two sides are congruent, we know that the length, x plus 18, has to be equal to 3x minus 2. And we're going to go ahead and solve this equation for x. So I'm going to get all my x's to one side. And then get x by itself. I get that x is equal to 10. There's one of my solutions. I also need to find the value of y. So now that I know x is 10, I can substitute 10 in for x to find the length of this side of the parallelogram. So this side of the parallelogram is equal to 4 times 10, which is 40. Now we know that this side is equal in length to this side, so y must also be equal to 40. And number 2, now when I'm looking at my x and y values, I notice I have x and y on some side lengths. I also have x as part of an angle measure. So thinking back to number 1, that we just did, we said that opposite sides of parallelograms are equal in length. So I know that these two lengths are equal, but notice I have two variables, so I don't want to set up an equation with those yet. So now let's look at the angles. We want to figure out what's the relationship between this angle, 4x minus 37 degrees, and 49 degrees. Well, if in our list of properties, we said opposite angles are congruent. So this angle is congruent to this angle. They are equal in measure. I can set up an equation. 4x minus 37 degrees is equal to 49 degrees. Let's go ahead and solve for x. And I get that x is equal to 21.5. This will now help me solve for y. So I can go ahead and substitute 21.5 in for x to get an actual length for this side. So 4 times 21.5 minus 3 gets me a length of 83. So I know that this length of 83 must be equal to y divided by 5. I'll do that equation up here. I'm kind of running out of space. 83 must be equal to y divided by 5. So to solve for y, I just need to undo this division by multiplying both sides by 5. And I get that y is equal to 415. Number 3. This time, x and y, they are located on the lengths of the diagonals in my parallelogram. So I want to ask myself, what do I know to be true about the diagonals in my parallelogram? We said that in a parallelogram, the diagonals bisect each other. So remember what that means is since they bisect each other, they cut each other into two congruent pieces. So this diagonal, this segment is congruent to this segment, and this segment on the diagonal is congruent to this segment. This is going to help me set up some equations. I don't really have to worry about doing this in a particular order because these y's, there'll be one variable in that equation. And then using these lengths, there'll be one variable in this equation. So I know that 5y minus 16 must be equal to 3y. That's one equation we need to solve. The other equation we need to solve is that 2x plus 10 must be equal to 4x minus 2. So we're going to go ahead and solve both of those equations to get our x and y values. I'm going to go ahead and get all my y's on one side. And I get that y is equal to positive 8. I'm going to get all my x's on one side in this equation. If I'm solving these equations too fast, you can always pause the video, solve the equation, and then check it with my work when you're done. And in this one, I get that x is equal to 6.